You know how some stories just fall flat? Like you're up there, you're pouring your heart out, and you realize halfway through that the audience is giving you the same face they'd give a soggy sandwich, blank, chewing, mildly confused. Like they're wondering, is there really a point to this, or should I just fake a bathroom emergency? Well, what if there were a way to take that same story? No need to rewrite your life, no need to invent drama, and turn it into something that hooks attention, that holds emotion, and actually gets remembered. Well, that's exactly what we're unpacking in today's episode. Because the truth is, it's not about finding a better story. It's about telling your story better, with humor, with tension, with emotional beats that don't just sound good, they stick. If you've ever felt like your story was just too boring, too ordinary, or if you've watched eyes glaze over during a webinar, a sales call, or even a TEDx audition, this one's for you, because today I'm going to show you what actually makes a story unforgettable. I'm going to show you how to add humor, even if you don't think you're funny. And I'm going to show you how to build emotional lift and audience curiosity without oversharing, overacting, or overdoing it. And yes, I'll be modeling these tools as we go. Because I don't believe in just teaching the strategy, I believe in being the example. I'm Lord Al Jensen, the founder of Next Stage Communications. I've delivered more than 7,500 talks all the way back to 1974. I've coached TEDx speakers. I've guided pastors and politicians. And I've walked out of storytelling competitions with more than just applause. I walked out with a kind of top honors that tell you, yeah, this guy knows how to move an audience. But here's what I've learned across boardrooms, ballrooms, and even one unforgettable breakfast buffet keynote in Boise. It's not the credentials. It's not the title. It's not the rags to riches formula. It's the story told right. And what most people call boring stories are really just underdeveloped stories. Not broken, not bad, just waiting for a spark. And because I know you don't just want inspiration, you want implementation, I've put together a no-cost resource for you. It's called the Story Spark Sheet, and it's packed with 15 fast ways to make any story more captivating, using techniques like humor punch-ups, suspense triggers, and emotional layering. Think of it like a jumper cable for your story. Go grab it now. You'll find the link right there in the show notes. Now, coming up, I'm going to give you my audience energy audit so you can spot exactly when your story is dying on stage. I'm going to give you the easiest way to add humor without trying to be funny, and how to dial in just enough suspense and emotion to keep your audience hanging on every word. Because your story doesn't need fireworks or fake tears. It just needs rhythm. It needs lift. It needs a strategy that works with the brain, the heart, and yes, even sometimes the funny bone. So stay with me, because by the end of this episode, you'll have everything you need to take your so-so story and turn it into a moment that your audience remembers and repeats. Let's talk about the part most speakers and experts never want to admit. Sometimes our stories just don't land. You've got the mic. You're telling your signature story. You know it's got meaning and you believe it has power, but the room, dead, silent, emotionally flatter than a pancake at a keynote convention. Here's the thing that most people get wrong. It's not because your story isn't powerful. It's because the way you're telling it is missing spark, shape, and emotional pacing. Now, let me break this down so it actually helps you. Here are the 3 most common reasons that your story might fall flat, even if it's a true personal and meaningful experience. Reason number 1, you may have started too early. You're giving backstory before we care. You're trying to set the stage when we haven't bought a ticket yet. Here's a pro tip. Don't start with your birth certificate. Start with the turning point. Instead of, so back in college, I had this one professor. Instead of that, try, I'd just been told that my dream was dead, and I still had to teach a class full of sixth graders. Boom, you're in it. We're in it. Now, reason number 2, there's no emotional lift. Flat stories often lack a shift, a pivot, where the audience gets to feel something, not just hear what happened, but feel what changed. Great stories move through emotional texture. They start uncertain, they build tension, and land with hope, clarity, or transformation. No emotional shift? It's just a scene, not a story. Reason number 3, you've told us everything, but didn't show us anything. You said, I was scared, but we didn't see it. You said, it was a breakthrough moment, but we didn't feel it. Here's a rule of thumb. Don't just tell me you were nervous. Tell me your palms were sweating so bad you almost dropped the clicker. Use sensory snapshots, not motivational slogans. So, what do you do if you spot one or maybe all 3 of these in your stories? Here's your quick fix toolkit. Fix number 1. Start with the moment that changed everything. Skip the setup. Drop us into the action. She looked at me, paused, and said, I don't trust you. Then tell us what led up to that moment. Instant intrigue, instant stakes. Here's fix number 2. Use what I call the tension sandwich. Start with emotion, add tension in the middle, and end with a shift or release. If your story sounds like a report, rewrite it as a ride. And remember this, emotion equals memory. If they don't feel it, they won't remember it. Fix number 3, add 1 visual and 1 internal line. This is a formula that I teach my private clients. 1 thing that they can see and 1 thing that you were thinking or feeling. For example, I was gripping the mic so hard, I lost circulation in 2 fingers, and all I could think was, why am I even doing this? Now we've got the visuals, we've got the emotional hook, and most importantly, the resonance. I want you to pick 1 story that you tell frequently. Maybe in your keynote, maybe it's in your about page, or maybe it's in sales calls. Ask yourself, where does it start? Could I drop them into the action sooner? Where does the emotion lift? Could I stretch or deepen that beat? Where am I telling when I could be showing? And if you're stuck, don't worry, I got you covered. That's exactly what the Story Spark Sheet is for. You can grab it in the show notes right now. It's got 15 quick prompts that'll help you add tension, drop emotion, punch up a flat open, and even sneak in a laugh without sounding like you're trying out for amateur night at the Chuckle Barn. That's not a real place, by the way, but I think you get the idea. Coming up next, we're going to dive deep into how to add humor, even if you don't think you're funny, because you don't need to be a comedian to be captivating. You just need the right tools and the right moments to let your human side shine through. Let's break that down next. So let's tackle the question if I get all the time. Well, what if I'm not funny? Well, first off, good. The world has enough try-hard speakers who think quoting a meme counts as comedic timing. You don't need to be funny. You just need to be human. Because when the audience sees your humanness, your quirks, your confusion, your accidental screw-ups, that's when they lean in. That's when they say, okay, I like this one. Here's the truth. Humor, it's not about punchlines. It's about surprise, recognition, and release. It's about showing your audience that you don't take yourself too seriously while still taking your message very seriously. Let me give you 3 ways to add natural humor. No stand-up set is required. Number 1, self-aware confession. I was trying to project confidence, but I was sweating so bad that I looked like a used car on a July lot. Now, that's a laugh line because it's true. It doesn't mock the audience. It includes them. You can use exaggeration with control, like, I wasn't just stressed, I was breathing like a Labrador in a thunderstorm. Use the rule of 3. Set it up, build it, and break it. Like this. I practiced my opener. I adjusted my mic and forgot everything that I was going to say. Boom! Relatable. It's visual. And it is laugh-worthy. And then there's the callback effect. Plant a little line early on, and then refer back to it later with a twist. Maybe start with, I was 25 and I thought I knew everything. Then later on, at 25, I had 2 talents, confidence and confidence. It rewards the listener. It creates rhythm, and it makes your message feel crafted, not just rambled. Now, let's layer in some suspense and emotion, because a funny moment with no stakes, well, that's just a gag. It's a throwaway. But humor and suspense used together, well, that is sticky storytelling. This is called the curiosity trigger. It's the moment where your audience starts asking, well, what happens next? How do they get out of this? Could this happen to me? When you spark curiosity, you earn attention, and the story pulls them forward without you having to sell every second. Want an example? Well, here's a flat moment. I was nervous before my first client call. Now let's add a little suspense and some humor. 10 minutes before my first client call, I was Googling, what's a deliverable? I had Post-it notes on every surface, and my cat was the only one who believed in me. Now that's funny, that's human, but it also opens a loop. We want to know what happens next. And that's the power of this mix. Humor buys you trust. Suspense buys you attention, and emotion buys you belief. When you combine those with a clear shift, a moment where something changes, your story isn't just memorable, it's repeatable, it's retellable, it's referable. People say, you know that one speaker? The one who said their cat was their only supporter? Yeah, him or her. They were great. That's what you want. So here's your next move. Take one of your flat stories and ask yourself, where could I exaggerate a little without faking it? Where could I drop a relatable line that shows I see myself clearly? Where could I plant a moment of suspense and delay the payoff? Start with just one tweak, one spark. And if you want a cheat sheet to help you do this, well, you already know where to go. The Story Spark Sheet, the link in the show notes. Use it like seasoning. A little goes a long way, but once it's there, everything tastes better. Now let's talk about how to deploy your new upgraded story, where it belongs in your speech or your sales call and your platform, so it doesn't just sound better, it starts building your brand, because timing is everything. All right, where the heck do these upgraded stories really go? Well, you've got one now. Maybe you've sharpened a few lines, added some humor, layered in some emotion. But if you drop that story in the wrong place, well, it's like telling your best joke at a funeral. It just doesn't work. It won't hit. It doesn't convert. So let's break down where and when to use your upgraded story for maximum impact. Place number 1, the pre-pitch frame. Don't wait until after you've made the offer. Most people do, but by then, your audience has already started defending their wallet. Instead, use your story to open the emotional door first. Let it frame the problem. Let it stir the stakes. Let your audience see themselves before you ever introduce the solution. Think, this is what I've been through, and here's what changed. And then let me show you how that change can be yours. Place number 2, you can put it in mid-talk. when attention starts to slide. Let's say you've been teaching for 10 or 12 minutes. You can feel the audience checking their phones with their souls. This is where you drop a story to re-engage, especially one with humor, with emotion, or even a shared fear. Don't call it a story, just pivot. As an example, let me show you what that looked like in real life. Boom, energy's reset. You interrupted the pattern. Place number 3, sales conversations and client calls. Stories do what rebuttals can't. Instead of arguing against the objection, you share a story that proves possibility. One of my clients said the same thing. She wasn't sure that she could pull it off, but after one shift, she was booked solid. So let your stories speak to belief, not just logic, because belief is what moves people. So here's the recap. Use stories before the pit. Use them when the energy drops. Use them to dissolve objections. And above all, craft them intentionally. Deploy them strategically and deliver them with just enough humanity to be unforgettable. Because that's what makes people follow you, refer you, buy from you. And hey, if you want help doing this for real, not just listening and thinking, well, maybe someday, but actually building your go-to story bank, that's what the Next Stage mini course is for. And it's called How to Make Boring Stories Unforgettable, using humor, suspense, and emotion. And it's live right now. It's only $37. Inside, you'll get the psychology of why stories sell, the exact frameworks that I use with my coaching clients. You'll get emotional contrast drills and humor formulas that feel natural, not gimmicky, and plug-and-play templates to make your next story a standout. So grab it now. There's a link in the show notes. It's fast, it's tactical, and it'll change the way people respond to you on stage, on Zoom, or anywhere you speak. Because when your story is shaped right, it doesn't just sound better. It builds trust, it moves people, and it converts. And remember, if you're not ready for the full course just yet, at least grab the Story Spark Sheet. It's free, it's fast, and it'll upgrade your next story in the time it takes you to drink your coffee. Remember the link right there in the show notes. So if this episode has sparked something, if you saw a new angle, laughed a little, or thought, dang, I really needed this, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Drop a comment or a review. I do read them. And share this with the speakers, coaches, and creators in your circle who are still playing it safe and calling it professional. Their story matters. Your story matters. And the world needs what only you can bring. So let's shape it. Let's share it. And let's make sure they never forget it. And I can't wait to see you on the next stage.